Hello, hello. Welcome to the Freelance Marketing Ninja Show. Eric Stephenson. I'm your host, coming at you live from Salt Lake City, Utah, the same place that I stream this show from every day. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope your digital marketing adventure is going well. I have some exciting things to talk about today, of course. But first of all, just so you know who this show is for, this show is for you if you are new to affiliate marketing or freelance marketing or whatever it is you want to call it. If you're interested in it and you want to peek behind the curtain to see what's really real without all the glitz and glam and Lambos and mansions and private jets and all that stuff. And if you just like my beard, you like looking at the guitars in the background, I'm not going to hold it against you if that's why you're watching the show, but hopefully you get some additional value from it as well, the interest, if you're interested actually in what I'm presenting about. But I'm just happy if you're watching, honestly. That's the truth. That is the truth. So couple things I wanted to do. First of all, I wanted to wrap up yesterday's show in a tiny little bow because I realized I kind of left what we call a big open loop. What an open loop is like, if you ever watch TV where you'll see something like really amazing. Usually, maybe they're putting the end of the show in the first scene, and then your character's in some crazy situation. You don't even know how they got there, or you don't know how they resolve it. Well, that's an open loop because you want to see what happens next. And I told a story and kind of left this giant, well, what does that mean to me? And so I actually had some time to reflect and really think about how the story I shared yesterday and how that applies to you. So, just to quickly recap, I've been practicing some meditation, some visualization. I had kind of a there's just a very strange experience doing that, which I can't tell you if it was my own imagination or an actual conversation with the universe, but I imagined I was speaking to the universe. And what I realized from that and from some of the other exercises I've been doing is that one of my major roadblocks, one of my major mindset blocks that has been standing in my success is just what's called my deserve level as far as love. So I have difficulty feeling like I'm worthy of love, and that's really important. If you're a digital marketer, you have to feel like you deserve love. You have to feel like you're worthy of it, and not just like from a romantic partner or from a child or from a pet or something like that. Because if you do become successful, if you build an audience, people start following you, you have to be comfortable with that. You have to feel like you deserve it. Because if you don't, you might self-sabotage, you might hesitate, you might uh, procrastinate and not do the things you need to do to continue to build your audience, especially if you have a fear of that or you just don't feel like you deserve it. So that was an issue I was struggling with, but I realized that it could benefit you to know from my mindset perspective, just a belief that you may want to make sure that you have if you're on this journey. Hope that makes sense. Okay, let's switch gears and let's go back to the skill set. I prepared a little presentation, and what I'd like to discuss is a really simple way that you could increase your income and your results as much as 800%, right? As much as 800%. So let me share the screen. Excuse me, got the hiccups here. All right, so I want you to answer this in the chat, if unless you know the answer, right? Unless you have seen something like this before. What do you think if we look at, just the general funnel that we recommend, where you go from advertising to some type of an opt-in page designed to collect emails, and then over to an offer? What do you think the best way is and the easiest way is to double your income? Right. Well, a lot of people might tell you, well, if you're spending money on traffic, why don't you just double your traffic spend? Right. And that could be an easy way. That could be an easy way, but this is really not the best way. This is really not the best way. You see, there is an easier and smarter way that you can do this without increasing your ad spend, especially if you are at the beginning of the process. If you're later on in the process, maybe you've already done this, but there's really three phases when it comes to all businesses, and especially a digital marketing business. First, you've got to build the business, you've got to build the funnels, you've got to design the user experience that people go through. If they click on one of your links, they click on one of your web pages, and what happens next? You have to design that experience and build it. Then you have to optimize it. You've got to optimize it to give you the best cost per conversion. So you want the lowest cost on average to create sales. You want to do that before you start to scale up and spend more money, because that's going to make all of the money that you spend a lot more effective. If you've truly optimized it and you've really found the best user experience for people who go through your funnel. So the way that this works is there's a technique called split testing that we use as digital marketers. So everything that we do as a digital marketer is a test, by the way. Almost anything you try is a test, because you really don't know it's going to work until you start sending people through. You can have a lot of knowledge about keeping attention, grabbing attention, keeping attention, persuasion, those sorts of things. But you never really know it's going to work until you actually test it. So what we do is we actually split the traffic. So say that we were going to do a split test on an opt-in page, is that we can create a slight variation of the original opt-in page. So maybe what we do is we change the headline, the big promise, that what people get if they provide their email address. You can change the wording or change that hook there to see if that makes a difference. And what you do is you split your traffic. You send 50% of it to the original page, and then 50% of it to the variation, and you make sure that you've got good tracking on those pages to tell you which of those is performing better. Well, what can happen sometimes as you continue to test and refine through this split testing, you could actually develop a second opt-in page that performs twice as well as your original, because of testing different ideas, different headlines, different colors, different buttons, different text on the buttons, different pictures, different layouts, all these sorts of things. You could conceptually create an opt-in page that does twice as good, right? And if you do twice as good, conceptually, your income should be twice as much with the same ad spend. Your return on ad spend should be twice as much, right? But Eric, you promised me that we were going to do an 800% increase, not just a 200% increase. Well, that's just the beginning, right? Because we can do these sorts of split tests, not just on the opt-in page, we can on the advertising. And in fact, advertising, if you're actually running ads where you can control what's in that ad, like you could with, say, Facebook ads, for example, or Google ads. You can change what's in that ad. You can actually do two different versions of the ad and send that to an opt-in page. So you could get a 200% return by split testing your ads. In fact, I'm testing a new traffic source today that I've discovered where I'm optimistic that I might get really, really cheap clicks, like cheap as in maybe a penny to 2 to 3 pennies a click. But when I set up the campaign, I actually am testing 3 different ad creatives to see which of those perform better, because that's ultimately going to help my cost per click. We can do this to the ad. We can do this to the opt-in page. You can do it also to your emails, your initial email autoresponder, because a lot of the sales that come will come from the series of follow-up emails that go to people who don't buy originally, right? So you add these together, twice as many people visit your opt-in page from your ad, twice as many of those actually provide their email address with better testing, and twice as many people click on the links in email and buy. Well, you could conceptually increase your income by 800%. That's how we get to an 800% increase. Um, yeah, you may not do that every time, right? But this process of refining and testing is critical to making sure that if you are especially spending money on paid advertising, that you're doing so in the most efficient way possible. So that concept, there's that concept. Now, if you got some value out of this concept and you have been trying to do affiliate marketing on your own and you didn't know this, I would invite you to attend there's a training that my mentor does. I've actually put a link in the description. I'll put a link in the comments as well after I'm done with the show. You can click on that link, go and pick a time on the next web page for when you can attend that training. This concept might be in there, and there might be some other additional concepts that really help you get the most out of your affiliate marketing business. The training is totally free; doesn't cost you anything to attend and watch. So, would highly suggest, if you got value out of this, to go register for that training right now. All right. Well, we know what's coming up next. It might be your favorite portion of the show. I think it might be my favorite portion of the show as well. That's right. That's right. It's time to dance to the beginner tip of the day theme song. This is the beginner tip of the day. This is for you if you are brand spanking new and you're struggling. You feel like you're getting hit from the fire hose. Maybe you're drinking from the fire hose, or maybe it's just spraying you in the face and you're not drinking anything in. Well, okay. So one thing to keep in mind, and this is do what the opposite of what I did, right? This should be affiliate marketing, freelance marketing should be treated like a marathon and not like a sprint. I get it. You get excited. You want to create results as fast as possible. So I did the same thing. I got my funnels working. I got my ads up and running. I started getting leads, and guess what I did? I went and dumped a bunch of money into paid advertising. And do not do that. Let me repeat, do not do what I did. Do not go throw a bunch of money into paid advertising because you're starting to get leads. Getting sales through paid advertising is more complicated than just getting the leads and a numbers game. You need to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to get quality leads. There are different qualities of traffic all over the internet. And if you just throw hundreds of dollars a day at the wrong level of traffic, you're not going to be as profitable as quickly, and you might be throwing your money away. So treat this like a marathon, not a sprint. Only spend, if you are going to pay money for traffic, only spend as much as you can budget safely, right? You can comfortably budget each month for at least a year, right? So even if you have like 1 month with a bunch of extra money, don't go just throw that at your ad campaigns. Do this slowly, learn your skills slowly, focus on them one at a time, allow them to build on top of each other. You will get there. You will get there, but if you try to go too fast, you'll probably run out of breath. You won't reach the end of the marathon because you sprinted too early. It's the rabbit, it's the hare and the tortoise. I think you know that story. Anyways, my name's Eric Stephenson. Hope you got some value out of today's show. If you did, leave some comments below. Let me know. And make sure you tune in for tomorrow's edition of the Freelance Marketing Ninja Show. See you tomorrow.